Hello and welcome back. Today we are looking at the Vectis Prime. Now for me personally, the Vectis Prime is the most damaging sniper rifle. However, it's also the most inconsistent, as well as it lacks a hell of a lot of utility. For utility, you probably would want to go with the Rubeco or the Volcar, preferably Volcar Wraith, because it's just that little bit better. But the Vectis Prime is still a pretty darn solid weapon. Of all of the hit scan sniper rifles, it does have the highest damage, and its critical chance is nothing really to brag about, as it is tied with the Rubeco, Snipertron Vandal and Lancer, etc, etc. However, that status chance is pretty darn sweet, and it does also have a very accurate shot while aiming. I do believe it will always land on the exact point of the reticule, which does make it perfect for headshots. However, if you're going for your shot combo to help increase your damage, the minimum requirement is 5 shots, and with the recoil of this weapon, particularly at the max zoom at the ×10, it does make it pretty darn difficult. Now, of course, there are plus sides to this weapon as well. The main one being that its Riven's disposition isn't actually too bad. It is neutral, so if you did get one with a nice bit of critical chance on there, you could probably push this weapon to up over that 100%, which would be absolutely lovely and help push that weapon up just that little bit further. My main problem with this weapon is the fact that even with a point strike, you only really get this weapon to just push a little bit above 60% on the critical chance, and being the fact that you're basically, it's a sniper rifle, so you're basically going to be going for that one shot kill, and at high levels, particularly the high armoured targets, you won't really be getting that because, well, it's going to take more than one shot. It does hit pretty darn hard, especially if you get that crit. The only problem is it's inconsistent, which is why, well, for one, I use it on Harrow, because using his 4th ability after taking a fair decent amount of slap, it gives you that plus 50%, which will then push that weapon up to and over 100% critical chance, which does make it a lot more effective. This is just my thoughts. You can use what you want to use. Some people have sworn by using low-key and hushed invisibility for the stealth multiplier. Others I have seen like to use it on none other than Chroma, because it is a hell of a boomstick. It does have some very high damage, so adding that onto the Chroma buff from Vex Armor, well, it's just going to be a wrecking ball. Again though, that does then mean you're going to be taking things one shot at a time. Now, just to highlight how inconsistent this weapon can be, and effectively, basically sort of where it cuts off, and just to show, these are corrupted heavy guns at level 150. You can see that, well, although it's nice, high, pretty numbers, it's not that effective. It does get through them with relative ease, but due to 1, the recoil, 2 shots, reload, 2 shots, reload, it does take its time. And there are other weapons that would be more worthwhile. However, this can either be done with Harrow or a River mod. If you can get at least another 50% critical chance on top of this thing to put it over that 100%, it does just help bolster that damage. For the status it's fine, and for overall damage it's fine. It just needs that little bit extra on the crit, and here's why. It's basically just 2 or 3 shots, particularly in the head because it is pinpoint accurate, and it is just, yeah, goodbye. And it just makes it so much more interesting. Anyway, the build I am using not too strenuous really. Serration, Point Strike, Vital Sense, Infected Clip, Split Chamber, Malignant Force, High Voltage, and my Rhythm mod, which has, it's not great, I do need to re-roll it. So you can see there what I've got, but it will be getting re-rolled. Anyway, that's me, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you pretty darn soon. Ta-ra!